On Global TV News Express, Tinubu pledges continued support for Southeast development. In business, transmission company to add 120 megawatts to national grid. On the foreign scene, UN chief says Iran could resume enriching uranium in months. And in sports, Falcons battle Black Wings in Morocco. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Priscilla Obasi. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. Now the news in detail. The National Coordinator of the Southeast Renewed Hope Agenda, Belusochukwu Enwere, has affirmed that President Bola Tinubu holds the Southeast region in high regard and remains committed to advancing its development and economic growth. He made this remark in Umuahia, Abia State capital, during the inauguration and empowerment of small business owners, indigent persons, and women as part of the Renewed Hope agenda of President Tinubu's administration. And where noted that President Tinubu is determined to empower citizens in the southeastern states and ensure the region is fully included in the national development agenda. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Verkfort, St. Lucia, for the first leg of the two-nation trip to the Caribbean and South America. This is contained in a statement issued by the presidential spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, in Abuja. Onanuga stated that upon arrival at the Hewanorah International Airport, the president was accorded full military honors and received by Governor General of St. Lucia, Cyril Charles, and Prime Minister Philip Pierre. Vice President Kashim Shettima says Nigeria will plant 20 billion trees during the next rainy season as part of its national reforestation and environmental sustainability efforts. Shettima disclosed this after touring several agricultural and industrial sites in Ethiopia, coincided with the launch of Ethiopia's Green Legacy Initiative, which the Vice President described as a model program that successfully combines environmental restoration with job creation. The presidency has debunked reports circulating that the secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, has been replaced by Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman. Reacting to the report, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, in a statement, described the trending report as fake and advised the public to disregard it. The media have been awash with reports that Akume has been appointed chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to replace Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The federal government says plans are ongoing to begin manufacturing of boats in the country in a bid to phase out rickety vessels and curb incidents of boat mishaps. Pius Akuta, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, NSC, stated this in an interview in Abuja. Akuta said the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and the Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority were working tirelessly to minimize the level of accidents on the inland waterways. The federal government has declared a state of emergency on the construction of the Suleja-Minna Road. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, who made the statement during an inspection of the road, explained that the road project was initially awarded to Selani Nigeria Limited Steel. Work had either been done poorly or abandoned at some point, and efforts to get them to repair the road over a year and a half had been unsuccessful. The federal government has revealed that it is currently building 6 cancer excellence centers across the 6 geopolitical zones for early detection, treatment, and management of all cancer cases. Minister of State for Health, Isiaq Salako, disclosed this in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, while launching the ONSEC cancer screening test and early cancer screening diagnosis test, which formed part of a workshop on development of national nuclear machine guidelines and policy. He noted that the increasing burden of cancer in the country demanded the deployment of all solutions and all management possibilities to tackle the challenge. Meanwhile, the federal government has announced plans to review its health care policy for civil servants. This disclosure was made during a free medical screening exercise for civil servants in Abuja, held as part of activities marking the 2025 Civil Service Week. It stated that a more responsive and up-to-date framework is necessary given the rising cost of drugs and persistent gaps in the delivery of health care services. Suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has urged his supporters to accept the terms of his peace deal with the Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in good faith. Fubara stated this at a meeting with members of his simplified family in Port Harcourt 24 hours after the Abuja peace deal. Fubara said there is no price too big to pay for peace, apparently in reaction to criticism of the peace deal by some people who accused him of surrendering to alleged intimidation. The national chairman of the Advanced Democratic Party, ADP, Yabagi Sani, has called on the National Assembly for the removal of the power to appoint chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission and resident electoral commissioners from the president. He made this call in an interview in Abuja and says in the course of amending the constitution, the National Assembly should look into those portions for the nation's democracy to be properly grounded. Sani also advocated for a review of the section of the Constitution that empowers the President to appoint the Inspector General of Police. Enugu State Governor Peter Mba has debunked the speculations that he is leaving the People's Democratic Party, PDP, stating that he remains in the party. The governor made the rebuttal at an interactive session with the members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGE, in Enugu. While acknowledging the challenges facing PDP, Mba pointed out that the party was not the one encountering crisis in the country, expressing optimism that the party will soon resolve its problems. The Lagos State government has reiterated its dedication to promoting food safety and hygiene across the state through rigorous health screening of food handlers, regular water quality testing, and intensified public awareness campaign. Speaking during the commemoration of World Food Safety Day, Folarin Theophilus Ajayi, Director of Environmental and Occupational Health and Safety, revealed that the state had taken proactive measures to ensure that food consumed by residents complies with international safety standards. Ajayi emphasized that the Safe Plate initiative, signed into law by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in July last year, remains a pivotal strategy in achieving this goal. You are watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Transmission Company of Nigeria announces 120 megawatts addition to national grid. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now we go to the business news. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced that it has energized 2 newly installed power transformers at its 330 by 132 by 33 kilovolt Birnin Kebbi transmission substation in Kebbi State. The spokesperson of the company, Ndidi Mba, made this known in a statement. Ndidi, the 100 megavolt amperes and 150 megavolt amperes transformers were energized at 1:18 p.m. and 2:56 p.m. respectively on Friday, June 27, 2025. The Deputy National Chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transmission Engineers, Bola Mudassiru, has raised concern over Nigeria's infrastructure stock, stating that it is currently standing at just 30% of the country's gross domestic product (GDP), far below the 70% benchmark recommended for middle-income economies. Mudassiru disclosed this while delivering a keynote address on the theme Nigeria's Transportation Infrastructure, Navigating Progress, Challenges and Opportunities for Sustainable Growth at the 2025 Public Lecture and Induction Ceremony of New Engineers, organized by Nigerian Society of Engineers, Lagos branch, in collaboration with the institution. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has rewarded a micro, small and medium enterprise MSME operator, Raw Food and Beauty Research Limited, with 2 million naira cash and a brand new car for outstanding tax compliance. The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zak Adedeji, represented by the director, Government and Medium Taxpayers Group, Dick Erie, gave the award at the 7th National MSMEs Award Ceremony in Abuja, highlighting the commitment of the organization in recognizing micro and small taxpayers. He said that the micro and small taxpayers did not only register their businesses with the tax authority, but have consistently met their tax obligation. The Director General of the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, GIABA, Edwin Harris, has called on civil society organizations, national organizations, authorities, policymakers, and development partners to renew their commitment to the collective fight against money laundering and terrorist financing in the sub-region. Speaking at the opening of the Regional Sensitization Seminar for Civil Society Organizations on Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Financing of Terrorism Requirements held at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Lagos, Harris emphasized the strategic role of civil society in shaping policies, influencing public attitudes, and advocating for sustainable anti-corruption reforms. He disclosed that the group has disbursed $300,000 in 2025 to support 12 CSOs across West Africa in their advocacy work on asset recovery and financial crime prevention. And on the foreign scene, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, says Iran will likely be able to begin to produce enriched uranium in a matter of months, despite damage of several nuclear facilities from U.S. and Israel's attack. Kabir Hassan has the details.
The United Nations nuclear watchdog chief stated these days after U.S. President Donald Trump insisted the month's attack has set Iran's nuclear ambition back by decades.
Iran had a very vast, ambitious program, and part of it may still be there. And if not, there is also the self-evident truth that the knowledge is there, the industrial capacity is there. Iran is a very sophisticated country in terms of nuclear technology, as is obvious.
Israel launched a bombing campaign on Iran nuclear and military sites on June 13. saying it was aimed at keeping Iran from developing a nuclear weapon, an ambition the Islamic Republic has consistently denied. Hassan Kabir reporting for Global TV News.
In a related development, the Iranian foreign minister called on the United Nations Security Council to recognize the Israeli regime and the United States as the initiators of the recent acts of aggression against Iran and their subsequent responsibilities, including compensation and reparation. In a letter to the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres and President of the United Nations Security Council, Caroline Rodriguez Briquet, on June 28, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi said that the UN Security Council should hold the U.S. and the Zionist regime accountable for aggression against Iran and prevent the reoccurrence of heinous and serious crime. Naftali Bennett, Israel's former prime minister, says current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu must leave office. Speaking during a televised interview, Bennett refrained from saying whether he plans to challenge the longest-serving leader in the country in an upcoming election. He called attention to Netanyahu's heavy responsibility for the division in Israeli society, highlighting the growing rifts that have emerged under Netanyahu's leadership, especially regarding his handling of the Gaza war since October 2023. And in sports, Nigeria's Super Falcons will square off against Ghana's Black Queens in a crucial friendly fixture in Casablanca as both West Africa giants fine-tune their preparations for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. The encounter represents the final preparatory match for both teams before the Continental Showpiece commences on July 5 in Morocco. For the 9th time, African champions, the clash against their perennial rivals serve as a crucial test ahead of their quest for a 10th WAFCON title, having dominated the competition since its inception as a tournament in 1998. And still in sports, Saudi Pro League giants Al Hilal has tabled a stunning €50 million per season contract offer for Victor Osimhen, whilst Napoli have offered the Nigerian striker to report for pre-season training as his future remains uncertain. The 26-year-old has never been closer to leaving Napoli, with transfer markets expert Armando Ariello, who specializes in Napoli, revealing that the former Lille forward has been the subject of a massive offer from the Saudi Arabian club. The extraordinary salary offer comes as Napoli has reportedly directed Osimhen to report for pre-season training ahead of the 2025-2026 season. And as Global TV News Express comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. We told you the national coordinator of the Southeast Renewed Hope Agenda, Olusochukwu Enwere, has affirmed that President Bola Tinubu holds the Southeast region in high regard and remains committed to advancing its development and economic growth. In business, we told you the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced that it has energized 2 newly installed power transformers at its 330 by 132 by 33 kilovolt Birnin Kebbi transmission substation in Kebbi State. And on the foreign scene, we told you Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, says Iran will likely be able to begin to produce enriched uranium in a matter of months, despite damage to several nuclear facilities from U.S. and Israeli attack. In sports, we said Nigeria's Super Falcons will square off against Ghana's Black Queen in a crucial friendly fixture in Casablanca as both West Africa giants fine-tune their preparations for the 2025 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON. And that is it on Global TV News Express. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using the handle @Global TV NG. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Priscilla Obasi. Thank you very much for watching.